Babies, welcome back to another Deck Tech in Modern League, and this week we're playing sort of a forgotten Modern favorite, 5-color humans. The deck list is on screen now and in the description below. It's about normal Modern deck price in paper, but on Moto it's pretty cheap. And what's really cool about this deck is because humans get printed more than any other creature type, this tribe has more support than any other one. And we can really take advantage of that with the toolbox elements that we got from Modern Horizons 2. Let's get into the deck tech. Starting things off, this is an Aether Vial deck, and Vial is the only non-creature spell in our main deck, so we can take advantage of it as much as possible. It essentially lets us cheat on mana costs and power out our creatures way faster than we normally can. Next we have our main power-up from Modern Horizons 2, Imperial Recruiter. This lets us play a toolbox-style strategy, where we can either get our Lords or Silver Bullets to stop our opponent's deck. Starting off with our 1-drop slot, we have 4 copies of Champion of the Parish as a growing threat, 4 copies of Noble Hierarch, which is a ramp alternative if we don't have Aether Vial, and 2 copies of Esper Sentinel, which is really good both when it's being disruptive like a Thalia and if it's being card draw. We have 4 copies of Thalia to act as a lightning rod for removal and slow down our opponent's non-creature spells, and 4 copies of Thalia's Lieutenant, which acts sort of like a Lord, giving +1/+1 counters to all of our creatures, but also grows like Champion does. We have 4 copies of Meddling Mage, which can disrupt our opponent by stopping them from playing spells that we name, and 3 copies of Kitesail Freebooter, which act as a pseudo-duress on a creature, but also let us look at our opponent's hand to make Meddling Mage better. Some one-ofs we're playing for the Imperial Recruiter toolbox are Lavinia, which is really good against Cascade decks and against the free Evoke elementals, 1 Phantasmal Image, which can be really good as a way to copy our own creatures or maybe our opponent's creatures if they have something better than us, and 1 copy of Unsettled Mariner to tax our opponent's spells and effects that target us and our permanents. We have 3 Reflector Mage, which is a tempo card so good it was banned in Standard, and 2 copies of Mantis Rider because 3-drop 3/3 Flying Vigilance Haste is a really good beat stick. Starting off our mana base, we have all 12 of the Tribal Rainbow lands, 4 Cavern of Souls, which is the best one and lets us fight through counterspells, 4 Secluded Courtyard, and 4 Unclaimed Territory, which are mostly the same thing in our deck. We have 2 Ancient Ziggurat, which is a rainbow land, but can only tap for mana to play creature spells, so we can't play our Aether Vials with it. We have 4 Horizon Canopies, which we can sacrifice if we're getting flooded, and we have 1 Basic Plains. In our sideboard, we have 3 Outland Liberator to blow up our opponent's artifacts and enchantments, 3 Sanctifier Invec, which is good against graveyard strategies and is also hard to remove for black and red decks, and we have 2 Auriok Champions, which is also hard to remove for black and red decks and passively gains us some life against burn. We have 1 Aethersworn Canonist to stop our opponent from playing multiple spells a turn, 1 copy of Kataki, which, even though it's off-tribe, is really great against artifact decks, so it's worth including, and 1 copy of War Priest of Thune, which blows up an enchantment when it enters the battlefield, usually going to be Urza's Saga. We have 1 copy of Magus of the Moon, which does hurt us because of our greedy mana base, but it hurts our Tron, Amulet, and 4 or 5 color mid-range opponents more. We have 1 Sanctum Prelate for Cascade and other spell-based decks, and we have 2 Dismembers as our only sources of actual hard removal. And that's the deck tech. Let me know what you think of the list in the comments, and let's get into the games. Alright, round 1 with 5-color humans. We lost the die roll. No lands means a mulligan. Ugh. We have a bit too many lands now. Let's mulligan again. Alright. So we keep land, Noble Hierarch, Thalia. We get rid of 1 Thalia. We keep a Horizon Canopy and Phantasmal Image, I think. Get rid of these. Let's see what happens. I don't like mulliganing that much with this deck. Looks like we're playing against Burn. Yep. Opponent gets in with a Swifty. Let's see what we draw. Horizon Canopy. Okay. We will name human. We will play Noble. Pass the turn. See what our opponent is going to do on turn 2. Opponent plays another Inspiring Vantage, Lava Spikes us, gets a Prowess trigger. Lightning Bolts us, gets another Prowess trigger. I'll take 3 rather than getting rid of the Noble here, I think. We draw another Noble Hierarch. Let's play Horizon Canopy. Play Thalia, we go down to 9. Play Noble, pass the turn. Alright, what would our opponent like to do? Opponent suspends Riftbolt. Opponent plays an Eidolon. Okay. They have one card left in their hand. We draw Ether Vial. So if we cast anything, we're taking damage to Eidolon, which is annoying. Maybe we can race our opponent? We're definitely playing Horizon Canopy. I'm not sure if I want to get in with Thalia or with Noble Hierarch. I think I might Phantasmal Image their Eidolon here. And just try to cause them to start dealing damage to themselves. Thalia is a really good defender, because it has First Strike. There's a decent chance they're going to bolt it, though. Let's play Phantasmal Image. Okay. We're at 7. We're at a virtual 4 if they bolt our face. We'll copy their Eidolon. Go to combat. And I think I just attack for 2 here. Yeah. Definitely tricky. I don't like the spot that we're in at all. Especially since we have Pain lands on top of everything. But our opponent's relatively low on cards at least. And Thalia makes it kind of a pain for them to play a bunch of burn spells. Alright, so opponent pays 1 to cast Riftbolt, targeting Thalia. Okay. Opponent's probably going to get in here, I assume. They play a land. Tapped. They play. They suspend another Riftbolt. No more cards in their hand. Okay. We're going to take 2, unfortunately. We untap. We draw Recruiter, which isn't the best right now. Let's get in for 4. Opponent takes it. We pass. Opponent's at 10. They're going to go down to 6 by casting this Riftbolt. We're in burn range, though. So we'll see. I'm just gonna F6 here because I don't think there's a reason for me to crack our Horizon Canopy since I can't really cast anything anyway. Opponent plays a land. They just attack with 1 creature. We chump block because we have to. Okay. So we can get in for 3. Now let's play our land, name human, go to combat. Get in for 3. If our opponent draws another brick, we might actually be able to race them here. If they take the damage, they can't cast anything anymore. So they have to chump with their Eidolon. Yep. We can't cast anything still. So let's pass. What's our opponent gonna get? It's another land. All right. Can we get there? This is wild. All right. Meddling Mage. Can't cast that. We're Eidolon locked. Go to combat. Attack for 3. One more brick out of our opponent, and we get it. I think. Yeah, they chump block. Okay. One more brick. Come on. Or at least we're closer to getting it if they brick. Now we're going to get it if they brick one more time because we hit them for 3 and then Eidolon for 2 damage gets them. Alright. Come on, opponent. Don't draw anything. More lands for burn, please. They're paying costs. That's not good. Opponent Rift Bolts us. Okay. Well, that was way closer than it had any business being. Alright. And we get some decent sideboard cards against them too, so that's good. We get probably Sanctum Prelate because 1 and 2 are both very good against them. We get Auriok Champion, and I might bring in a couple Sanctifier Invex. They don't really care about their graveyard, but it's kind of nice to have anyway. Let's get rid of... Lavinia's not good against them. It stops like Rift Bolts, but that's pretty much it. Reflector Mage is fine. Mantis Rider's fine. Phantasmal Image is probably not where we want to be against them. And I think we cut Kite Sail Freebooters, since they're likely to dump their hand pretty quickly, and we bring in protection from red creatures. Unsettled Mariner's fine. I think I'm just going to do it like that. Yeah, Sanctifier Invec is a pain for them, but it's not as impactful as Auriok Champion is. And Auriok Champion we want to get kind of early so that we get plenty of life gain triggers off of it. We will take the play. Hand's fine, we'll keep it. Actually have lands in our 7, so that's always nice. Let's go Cavern of Souls, Human. And let's just lead on a Champion of the Parish. Get the clock started. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Sacred Foundry, shocks it in. Plays a Goblin Guide. Sounds good to me. I will take the 2 gladly. We draw a Horizon Canopy. Cool, cool. We draw Thalia. Interesting. I could go Thalia and try to slow them down. I think I would rather just race here, since I can get another Champion of the Parish down, and then Esper Sentinel kind of plays a similar role to Thalia. Esper Sentinel plus Thalia is really nice because it essentially means that we're going to draw a card whenever they actually go to kill either of those creatures. We can hit our opponent for 3, and we will. Down to 15. We pass. Alright, what's our opponent going to do? They play a Scalding Tarn. They fetch down to 14. They get a basic mountain. Okay. Opponent plays a Lava Spike. Do you pay the 1? They don't pay the 1, so we get a free card. Sounds good to me. I think I'd like to hold on to the Meddling Mage for if they suspend a Rift Bolt. Opponent skewers our 2/2, so now they can get in for 2 if they want to. They do not, so they're going to chump block with it instead. Let's go Ancient Ziggurat, Noble Hierarch, grow our guy, Thalia, grow our guy. Not attacking with Esper Sentinel because I don't want them to have the free block. We get Exalted, so we're swinging for 6. I assume they chump block. Maybe not. Yeah, they do. Okay. We're probably going to get another card out of Esper Sentinel here, I assume. Opponent plays a land. They shock it in down to 12. Sounds good. Plays a Goblin. Opponent plays a Lava Spike. We get to draw a card. Excellent. We draw Sanctifier Invec. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. We draw Unclaimed Territory. Okay. So I think I just go Horizon Canopy, Sanctifier. We haven't seen actual Lightning Bolt out of them, so I guess I might as well just Meddling Mage on Bolt, since it's probably the best card in their deck in most scenarios. White-blue, Meddling Mage. Lightning Bolt. Yup. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent chump blocks, goes down to 10. They have 2 cards in hand. I'm pretty sure they can't deal 12 damage with 2 cards. Especially with Athalia in play, so we should just have this now. Opponent plays Sunbaked Canyon, that's fine. I feel like opponent's in the scoop zone. Yep, opponent concedes. Okay. So let's run it back. They didn't see Auriok Champion, which is nice. They did see that we have some protection from red cards, so they might bring in some way of answering that. But they don't have very efficient ways of answering it, other than like maybe Path to Exile. I see that sometimes in red sideboard still. I think that might be the only place I see Path to Exile really nowadays. Alright, so land, Noble Hierarch. We really want the Hierarch to stick because we can play 3 drops. But the rest of our hand's pretty decent too, so let's keep. If Hierarch sticks, I think I just go Mantis Rider immediately. I guess it depends on what our opponent does. Opponent plays Swifty. I might Reflector Mage that in that case, actually. We draw Sanctifier Infec, also interesting. Surprise, surprise, we're naming human, playing a Noble Hierarch. Pass the turn. Alright. So our opponent can deal a decent amount of damage here, I'm sure. We're not going to block with the Noble. Opponent plays a land, Lava Spikes us, gets a Prowess trigger, Lava Spikes us again, gets another Prowess trigger. Bit of a pain in the ass. But okay. So they have 3 cards in hand currently. Let's play the other Cavernous Souls. Name human. I think I want to slow their board down first. And then I can double spell next turn. I can either go Thalia Meddling Mage or Thalia Sanctifier. I don't think I would go just Meddling Mage Sanctifier because Thalia is so good. And there's a decent chance they can just bolt the Mantis Rider, so it's not that good of a defender against Swift Spear, so I think I'm going to go Reflector Mage here. It can't be countered, just in case that mattered for some reason. And we can Meddling Mage their Swift Spear now, since we know a card in their hand. If they drew another Swift Spear, it's also stuck in their hand, since Reflector Mage says cards of that name can't be cast. Opponent plays an Eidolon. That's kind of annoying. Ooh, Auriok Champion. That makes it way better. Let's play Unclaimed Territory, name human. Alright. So what's the best way of doing this? I definitely want to play Auriok Champion this turn. It'll make me take 2. But I can gain some of that life back. Opponent missed a land drop, which is interesting. Let's go to combat. Attack. See if our opponent wants to chump block for whatever reason. Our spells only cost us 1 life essentially now, since Auriok Champion gains us 1. So I think it's correct to go... Do I go Thalia or Meddling Mage? I think I go Meddling Mage. Get the Swift Spear stranded in their hand, hopefully. Alright, we gain a life up to 7. We're definitely in the danger zone, but we kind of have to be if we want to play anything. Our opponent's at 13. Their life total is hopefully going to start mattering soon. Maybe I should have played Thalia. I don't know. Alright, opponent Lava Spikes. Hopefully they don't just have triple bolt here because we'll die. Or Bolt Boros Charm. Opponent plays another Eidolon, okay. That's not Bolt Boros Charm. We're pretty much just not casting anything anymore though. Which does kind of suck. Let's see, our opponent's at 8. We can get in for 2, put them down to 6. With Auriok Champion, they can still cast a spell, but they can't double cast spells. And if we're at 5, they need 2 spells to be able to kill us. Alright, that makes it easy enough, I think. I could also go Mantis Rider, attack for 4. That puts me down to 1. But then I gain a life, and then they can't cast spells because of Eidolon. I guess Mantis Rider is the cleaner way of doing that, right? Yeah, because Mantis Rider locks them out of a spell immediately. Alright. I think that means we got it. Okay. 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 Yes. Okay. Attack for 4 with Mantis Rider. And I think that wraps up the game. I hope. Maybe they'll have a random 4-drop burn spell that they can kill us with. But I doubt it. What you got, opponent? What you got, what you got? Opponent draws a card. Desperation draw with Sunbaked Canyon. Sounds good to me. And I assume that's it. Opponent's thinking about it. Opponent passes. We will block in such a way the Eidolons don't die. So, block, block. Okay. And opponent passes. Okay. Go to combat, and opponent concedes. Okay, sweet. That was incredibly tight right at the end there. That was a very fun game. I love Eidolon locking burn players. Alright, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, round 2 of Humans in Modern. We lost the die roll again. We have a turn 1 Vial, but our hand is very slow otherwise. And we have essentially a bunch of mana sources, so I think I got them all again. Alright, this hand's fine. I think I get rid of... I don't know. With Recruiter and Reflector Mage are really good here. Maybe I get rid of Freebooter? I'm definitely keeping. So I go turn 1 Unclaimed Territory, Ether Vial. Turn 2... Yeah, I think I get rid of Freebooter. Because this way, Our opponent can like thought seize us and we still have a ramp piece to play on turn 1 no matter what, and then we have a decent payoff. Okay. Opponent plays Dark Slick Shores, Hedron Crab. So we're playing against Mill, which probably means Imperial Recruiter's scary. Ooh, we drew Thalia. That's a fantastic draw. Alright, Ether Vial, go. What do we do against Mill? Maybe we can just disrupt spells enough that it doesn't matter that much and just kill them. Let's see. Sideboard, I think we bring in... What do we even bring in? Sanctum Prelate might be fine. Hilariously, Magus might be decent since it turns off all their fetch lands. We mill a bunch of cards. Sanctifier Invec has protection from black, but it doesn't matter that much, and their graveyard doesn't matter that much. Maybe we can dismember their Ruin Crabs. Maybe we bring in Aethersworn Canonist? I don't know. Hopefully our main deck is just good enough to race them and have that be the end of it. We draw Unsettled Mariner, which is interesting. Let's play Thalia. Opponent fetches. Gonna mill us a bit more. Maybe they have a spell to cast. I guess we'll see. I think Imperial Recruiter has to go on like Tasha's. Maybe Archive Trap. Opponent mills us a bunch. We've milled 2 Meddling Mages and our Phantasmal Image. Alright. Pass the turn. At least Thalia means that Archive Trap isn't literally free, so we can kind of tell when they can play it. We're going to Violin Noble. We can play a 3-drop, and we can Violin a 2-drop next turn. If they're tapped out, I think I go for Recruiter. If not, I think I go Reflector Mage. They play Field of Ruin. Okay. They get our Lavinia, which would have cut off their free Archive Traps if we had it. They have the option of going Field of Ruin this turn, but it looks like they're not going to. Unsettled Mariner actually taxes their mill spells that target us, which I just realized. So that could be useful too, because that also means that it's taxing their Archive Traps. Put Noble into play. Does it say abilities? Yes. And Hedron Crab targets. Okay. So that's good too. Unsettled Mariner is actually really sweet in this matchup. I'm glad that I drew it. File goes up to 2. We will play an Ancient Ziggurat. White, blue, white. Play a Reflector Mage. We're going to bounce Ruin Crab, since it's a bit more annoying. Yes. Somebody's being loud with their vehicle. Put Unsettled Mariner into play. Okay. We're going to get a basic. They can get a land and they can pay a mana for the target. Okay. But now they definitely can't Archive Trap us, which is great. Alright, it looks like they didn't pay for the Hedron Crab target. Are they gonna try to archive trap us? They did try to archive trap us, what the fuck? Alright. Yeah, it also says us, not just our permanents. So, goodbye archive trap. To be fair, I had not noticed that part of Unsettled Mariner before either. Alright, let's go to combat. Bonk you for 3. Always yield. It's hilarious that they didn't notice that they didn't mill with Hedron Crab. And then also tried to mill us with Archive Trap right after. Alright, so opponent has one card that we know of in their hand. Their Archive Traps are much less good now. They also have to pay a mana to Field of Ruin, an extra mana rather, to Field of Ruin our lands, which is nice. Opponent taps 1. Are they going to try to cast their crab now, since they also aren't reading Reflector Mage? I think that's what's happening. Come on, opponent, I believe in you. Alright, looks like they're playing something different now. Opponent plays Drown in the Lock. It gets countered. What's happening? Man, our opponent just does not acknowledge that Unsettled Mariner does things, I suppose. They play a land now. Well, you can mill us for 3, you have to pay 1 for it. You could have gotten your Drown in the Lock to resolve, but apparently not. Opponent does not pay the 1 for the mill. Okay. You can't play your creature unless you have another Hedron Crab. We know that. And it looks like they're trying to play... Yep, okay. Alright, so the main deck is definitely good enough to deal with mill. Do I want anything out of the sideboard? Sanctum Prelate seems like it could be fine. Seems a little niche, though. War Priest, not really. Kataki, no. Aethersworn Canonist, not really. I like Reflector Mage. I like Mantis Rider since it's a decent clock. Maybe I just leave everything the same. So what do we... If we bring in Sanctum Prelate, what do we pick with it? 1? Or 5? I think I just leave it the same. That was a pretty good showing. If they side in like Bantu's Last Reckoning or something, we might be able to catch it with Kitesail Freebooter and then either take it with that or Meddling Mage it. I think we just kind of want to run back what we did there. Unfortunately, we only have 1 basic, so if they Field of Ruin us after they mill it, we can't get anything. But that's just a scenario we're going to have to deal with if it happens. I think they just bring in like Fatal Pushes and stuff. Only 1 land. We are on the draw. And we do have an Esper Sentinel and a Noble Hierarch, so maybe we keep this. Yeah, let's keep it. I'm going to be greedy. We get 2 draws at hitting a land, and then we still have at least 2 mana if Noble Hierarch untaps. And if it doesn't, we play Esper Sentinel and can hopefully draw some extra cards from there. Of course, ideally, I would like to untap with Noble Hierarch, but we'll see what happens. Because if we untap with Noble Hierarch and we draw land, which is the dream scenario, we get to go Kitesail Freebooter Esper Sentinel on turn 2. Opponent just plays a Swamp. That looks like a Fatal Push, so I'm just going to play Esper Sentinel here. Yep, that's a Fatal Push. So we get an extra draw, we found our land, fantastic. I'm a genius. And our opponent has a basic Swamp, which is one of the worst lands to just have in their deck since they can't double cast blue spells with it. Opponent shocks in a Watery Grave down to 18. We draw Thalia. We'll name human. And I think I just play Thalia, get another removal spell out of their hand if they have it, because they can't counter this. They have 4 cards in hand currently. They do need sort of a mass of cards to actually be able to mill us out. So if they just have a bunch of spot removal spells, we might be able to get through them and then play like Mantis Rider and just close the game out. Opponent doesn't have anything. Sweet. They play Hedron Crab. Okay. They play Shelldock Isle. So they're not playing any more non-creature spells this turn cycle because they have a tapped land. They get a Hideaway trigger. By the way, it's really cool that the new set has Hideaway again. I really like that mechanic. So I've been enjoying seeing the new cards with it. Shelldock Isle, of course, is pretty cool. I've played it in Cube a handful of times. I don't think I've ever played it in a constructed format. Opponent mills us for 3. They get another Thalia, they get Lavinia, and they get a land. Okay. I really like the, what's the card? Watcher of Tomorrow? Or is it Watcher for Tomorrows? From the first Modern Horizons. I like playing that in Soul Herder a lot. Alright, so we can get in for 2, or we can play Noble Hierarch first. We can't play Ether Vial here. I think I just want to go Noble Hierarch. Hopefully we get to untap with it so I can play either our 3-drops or like double 2-drop next turn. And it increases my clock right now, so that's nice. And our opponent isn't really incentivized to kill our Noble Hierarch at this point in the game, since Thalia is way more annoying to them. I assume our opponent's just going to take 3 instead of blocking. Yeah. Alright, opponent down to 15, pass the turn. So if I don't draw a land, I think I just go Mantis Rider and keep the beats up. If I do draw land, I think I go like some combination of 2-drops. I might go Kitesail Freebooter Meddling Mage, since that's kind of the combo. And then we can play Thalia's Lieutenant the next turn. That doesn't seem bad. We'll see what our opponent does, I guess. I probably play Kitesail with the Cavernous Souls mana, because I can... I mean, I don't even know if they would have counterspells. They don't have the mana to Drown in the Lock if they're paying 3 here. Alright. They kill Thalia. That's fine. Alright. We want a land, I think? Yeah, we want a land. Alright, we draw a land. Alright. Name human. Let's play Kitesail first. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. And they have a Shelldock Isle that can't do anything right now. Alright, Kitesail Freebooter, what you got? Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Crypt Incursion, Archive Trap. Okay. So Crypt Incursion gains them life, but doesn't matter that much, honestly. Tasha's, I think, is what we take here. And then we can name Archive Trap with Meddling Mage. White, blue. Archive Trap. Yes. And I don't think I even care enough about Crypt Incursion to name it with Meddling Mage unless they mill us a shit ton more suddenly. Like, I think I would rather just name Fatal Push or something. Opponent plays a Tasha's that they top decked. Okay. They exiled a whole bunch of cards with it. Makes sense. We draw Thalia, that's nice. Let's go... Hilariously, since they exiled cards instead of milling them, the clock isn't that great right now. Let's go Thalia. Turn off Crypt Incursion unless they draw another mana. Play Thalia's Lieutenant. Speed up our clock. Attack for 5. Opponent goes down to 11. Let's see what they have. We know both the cards in their hand right now. If they draw land, they can play Crypt Incursion. If not, I guess we'll see what happens. They still can't quite play Shelldock Isle. Okay, they did draw land, so they can mill us a bit, and they can gain a bunch of life with Crypt Incursion. So I guess we play Meddling Mage and see if they Crypt Incursion in response. We can go Champion of the Parish first, so it gains a counter from the Meddling Mage, I suppose. Thalia's Lieutenant grows. Play Meddling Mage. Here comes Crypt Incursion. They're going to gain 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So they're gaining a respectable amount of life here. All right, so we're not naming Crypt Incursion. I think we're naming Tasha's. Since it's the other big mill spell that they have. And then we're just going to attack for as much as we possibly can here. We even get in with Noble Hierarch. They can block it for free, but we don't really care, because then they're at least taking the rest of this damage. That top deck Tasha's they had did mill us for a decent amount. Alright, so they're going for the free block. They're taking a bunch. We're still going to have them dead pretty quickly. Opponent passes. This is 20 cards that it cares about, right? 20 or fewer. Alright, so we're still not quite there. If they draw a land, they can mill us and then use their Shelldock Isle. Hopefully we... Well, did they already get Lavinia? I think they did. Yeah, they did. So we can't turn off the Shelldock Isle free casts. We get an Unsettled Mariner, which is nice. Unsettled Mariner is actually pretty good here. Yeah, let's go white and blue. Play Mariner. Does opponent respond to our Marinera? The reason I'm playing this instead of Mantis Rider is Unsettled Mariner could possibly stop them from killing us if they have like a decent targeted mill spell off of Shelldock Isle. Or the ability to like kill our Meddling Mage and then Archive Trap us. Because they have to pay for Thalia and then Unsettled Mariner. Go to combat. In with the team. Don't really care about Ether Vial. I'd rather just get an extra damage from Noble Hierarch if I can. So opponent can block here, take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, down to 4. Okay. So they're going down to 1. Yep. Okay, so no more fetch lands for our opponent. That's nice, I guess. And now we're in a spot where they can Bantu's Last Reckoning and we can just play Mantis Rider and chip in for the last bit of damage. Seems pretty good to me. I think because of that, I just don't play Mantis Rider. Just in case. I mean, I already have lethal on board anyway, so it shouldn't matter. Opponent has something to play. Shelldock Isle, it looks like. They play Dress Down. Alright. Our boys are still big. So I think you die. Because I don't think this one blue mana is going to save you. Right? Okay. Sweet. That was a weird matchup. And I'll see you in the next one. Alright, round 3 with humans in Modern. We lost the die roll again, but we have a keepable 7, so that's nice. Let's see what our opponent's up to. They play Bloodstained Mire. Looks like probably a mid-range deck. They get a mountain, they play a Ragavan. Still looks like mid-range. Alright, let's see. Unfortunately, we can't block and kill Ragavan here, so we're just going to go land Ether Vial. Go. So Ragavan's going to hit us at least once this game, we know that for sure. Our opponent's probably just on a Rakdos mid-range deck. They're not playing a companion, which is interesting. They get our Champion of the Parish, and they can play that. Alright, that sucks. They play Steam Vents. Okay, so it looks like it's either Grixis midrange or Murktide, probably Murktide. Which does mean Thalia should be pretty good. We will grow the Ether Vial. We draw an Imperial Recruiter, which is interesting. Play Horizon Canopy. I think I do want to go ahead and play Thalia here, because if they kill it, I can use Recruiter next turn to get a new one. Pass the turn. And it also means they can't bolt anything during our turn, which they were probably holding up. Opponent plays a Lava Dart. That's annoying. Ugh, alright. They play Fiery Islet. Lava Dart makes it look less like Murktide and more like just a Prowess deck to me. They get another Ragavan, which is annoying. Alright, they can't cast Mantis Rider, so that's good, I guess. They play Light Up the Stage. Yeah, definitely Prowess. Okay. Hilariously, I think I am more happy with this being Prowess than... Damn, Champion's growing now. I'm more happy with this being Prowess than Murktide, I think, because they shouldn't have Fury's main deck or sideboard. Okay. Yes, we will grow it. Phantasmal Image. Phantasmal Image is not that great because of the Lava Dart. I think Recruiter gets me Unsettled Mariner. Probably. Maybe I just lead on Kite Sail Freebooter to try to get cards out of their hand, though. Yeah, let's go Kite Sail. I think that's a little bit of a better play. Play Freebooter. Okay. Lava Dart Lightning Bolt. Okay. Let's take... I think just the Bolt. The Dart can give them more Prowess triggers, but if we can get Unsettled Mariner out, it's a bit better for us to have that. They have 2 mountains. Maybe I go Phantasmal Image here? I can Phantasmal Image my Kite Sail Freebooter to take their Lava Dart, to make them have to Lava Dart a Kite Sail to unlock it. And then I could also play Vial this turn. Or I could just go Recruiter, get a thing. I think Recruiter, get a thing might be the better play here. I have the second Recruiter, so I can tutor out something that I might prefer to have later. But I think right now I want to get a Thalia's Lieutenant. Reflector Mage could also be good. Let's get Mariner. I know I want that card. And the other Recruiter and the Phantasmal Image could both be tutors for us. Alright, opponent plays Swifty. Pumps up their Champion of the Parish. Plays an Expressive Iteration. Okay. Thalia should be really good in this matchup, but I don't like that it just gets killed immediately by Lava Dart. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, Fiery Islet. They tap for a mana. They Lava Dart or Recruiter, that's fine. Opponent gets in. So we're at 13. We're pretty close to just being dead here. I don't think I like chump blocking as much as just trading for something. I mean, shit, they have 2 more Lava Darts. So I have to chump block here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They get a bolt. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Alright, let's concede, unfortunately. We're going to bring in all of our pro-red things because the life gain is going to be useful, and getting their cards in their graveyard exiled is useful. Sanctum Prelate also seems good. So we're bringing all of these in. I might bring in Aethersworn Canonist. I'm not sure yet. We're going to cut... Phantasmal Image seems bad. Lavinia... seems mid. I think I want to cut down on the Kite Sail Freebooters. Maybe I cut Mantis Riders, since it's better to have something that interacts with them than just trying to race them since they're so fast. Do I want Canonists? If I put Canonist in, it pretty much just gets bolted. Maybe I cut a Thalia for a Canonist, which feels weird because of how good Thalia is. But Canonist has a very similar effect. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. So we want a hand with some amount of our sideboard cards, hopefully, of course. We will take the play. We have Sanctifier in Vec. We have a decent hand other than that as well. We will keep. We're a little land heavy, but we have a Horizon Canopy, so that's fine. Name human. Play a noble. Next turn we can go Champion of the Parish into Sanctifier or Champion into Thalia's Lieutenant. Either way is pretty good. We have a pretty fast clock with these two. There's a decent chance they have an answer to Sanctifier and Vex that they brought in. Probably Kozilek's Return if I had to guess. Alright, opponent Lava Darts. So because they did that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and play Sanctifier and get it exiled, since they can't remove this. Pass the turn. Alright, so next turn, we're going to do some more stuff, it looks like. They did delay our clock by doing that. Opponent shocks in a Steam Vent. Plays a Soulscar Mage, okay. Plays a DRC, okay. Well, DRC is going to stay off, hopefully, this entire game. We draw Reflector Mage, which is nice. Let's go pay a white for champion. And I think I'd rather go Thales Lieutenant here because we need to get Sanctifier out of Kozilek's return range. Yield. Yield. Okay, and I'll just pass so I can block with Soulscar Mage, I think. So I can block Soulscar Mage with Sanctifier, rather. Opponent plays a Monastery Swift Spear. Okay. Opponent gets some triggers. Gonna go ahead and hit Always Yield to all these. Opponent mills a mountain, that's fine. They Mishra's Bauble. They bolt. Champion of the Parish, okay. More Prowess triggers, that's fine. Opponent has 2 cards in hand, so they are running out of steam now. Opponent attacks with everything? They do. Okay. We're at 19, so we can afford to take some damage, I think. So I think I want to keep Thales Lieutenant around and just kill the DRC. Let's go for a Reflector Mage on Soulscar Mage. You. And I'll just attack for 2 since Sanctifier Invec is like the perfect blocker. Pass the turn. Opponent Expressive Iterations. Sounds good to me. Probably means nothing this turn. And opponent concedes. Sweet. Alright, Sanctifier and Vec is very, very good. They still haven't seen our Auriok champion, which could be useful. Sanctifier is probably better against them, even though it doesn't gain us life. And we'll just run it back how we had it. They're playing a set of Lava Darts, so Thalia still seems like less of a safe investment than Aethersworn Canonist for a very similar effect. So yeah, I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Sanctum Prelate 100% just going on 1 if we get it. Alright, we have a sideboard card, we have a respectable clock, we have a little bit of ramp maybe. It probably gets killed, but whatever. We'll keep. I don't like being on the draw against them because of how fast their deck is, but, you know, we'll see. Opponent's mulliganing, that's good. They need a decent amount of cards to actually be able to kill us usually with these Prowess decks. And they're on the play and down to 5. So that's probably good. It probably means that they didn't have lands in the first couple of hands. Because you need like 2 lands to get most of this to work. Also, they haven't had turn 1 Ragavan in either of these games, so that's been good. Alright, we draw Esper Sentinel, which is interesting. I think I still just go turn 1 Noble Hierarch. Because if they bolt it, that's fine. And if we untap with it, that's great. There's a decent chance opponent can turn on their DRC this game, since we don't have a way to interact with their graveyard yet. I guess we'll see what happens as far as that goes. We take 1. Did they keep a 1-lander? If they had a bunch of non-creature spells to play, I think they did keep a 1-lander with Light Up the Stage. They middle land, which makes me think they didn't keep a 1-lander. And they have 2 creatures that they exiled. Okay, they play Fiery Islet. They have 2 cards in hand. They have a Ragavan that they're probably playing here, and they have a Soulscar Mage. How do I want to sequence this? I think I want to get Auriok Champion down sooner rather than later, so I can gain some life passively. Ooh, we got another one. That's interesting. Alright, let's pick human. I think... Opponent went for Soulscar Mage rather than Ragavan. I think I want to play Esper Sentinel instead of Champion here, because I'd rather get a card draw and hopefully get a land. And I think Champion just gets killed. We will gain a life up to 20. Hooray. Auriok Champion can block a bunch, I hope. And if it gets killed somehow, we have another one, so that's good. Again, this deck usually has a couple Kozilek's returns or similar to deal with protection from red creatures. I mean, I'll block it. Okay. Opponent plays a monkey. I gain a life. Yes. I would love to gain a life from the monkey. Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn. They have 2 cards in hand. Unsettled Marinara. Huh. Let's play Champion of the Parish. Yes. And let's go ahead and get Thalia down. Grow our dorks. Yes. Do I want to attack for 2 to offer the trade for Ragavan? I don't think I do. I was thinking about attacking with Esper Sentinel there. I think I'd rather just use Champion of the Parish as my beat stick, hopefully. Because Esper Sentinel being able to draw some cards is hopefully going to... We're slowing down our opponent either way. Should be useful enough that we care about it, at least. And if we get the triple tax down, I think we are set up pretty easily to win here. I think I'd rather leave the other Auriok Champion in my hand in case they have an answer for this one, so I can surprise them with it. And if we draw a land... Okay, we didn't draw a land. 2 cards in our opponent's hand. Let's play Mariner. See if they play something and let me draw a card. They don't. Yes. Okay. Let's get in for 4. Will you block? If they block, that's great. We get to eat a creature. If they don't block, it's also fine. Blocking like that, okay. I think that's the order I want to block in. And now all their spells cost 2 extra if they're targeting us or a permanent we control, and then 1 extra if they want to pay for Esper Sentinel. So, I mean, we pretty much have a build your own Trinosphere situation. We don't care about taking 3. We're at 25, so it doesn't matter that much. Opponent plays a light up the stage, that's fine. They pay for Esper Sentinel, it looks like. So they're basically not taking advantage of the light up the stage. Okay. And then next turn, I'm probably... Well, we can Meddling Mage whatever they reveal with light up the stage, I guess. So that's kind of sweet. Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart. I don't really care about Lava Dart because it's so bad with Thalia, so I think I just Meddling Mage Lightning Bolt. We draw Aether Vial, not paying for that. Blue, white. Play Meddling Mage. Gotcha. Name Lightning Bolt. Yes, we gain a life. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Opponent takes it down to 11. Sounds good. Pass the turn. So they can't use their bolt. They can't double cast Lava Dart to kill anything really important. They go for the Lava Dart on Thalia. They're going to pay 1 extra for that again, and then we're going to draw a card with Esper Sentinel. Sounds good to me. We get a land finally. Our opponent did not pay for the counter. Okay, cool. Well, that turned around pretty well after a very rough game 1. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, round 4 with humans. We lost the die roll again because we apparently don't know how to roll higher than our opponent. Hand's a little slow, but it's fine. We'll keep it. I always prefer the hands that have either Ether Vial or Noble Hierarch, or really any turn 1 play, but this hand's fine overall. Our opponent leads on Spire Bluff Bridge Go, so it could easily either be Living End or a Murktide deck. I think I just go Ziggurat, pass. This way we could be a different type of greedy creature deck, maybe like Slivers or something. Opponent plays a land. Okay. Let's play Cavern on Human. It looks like they're holding up Counterspell. And let's just go ahead and play Kite Sail Freebooter. That way we can know what's a Meddling Mage or what to play around in the future. Unholy Heat, Lightning Bolt, Counterspell, Force of Negation, Consider. Okay, so Force of Negation's a dead card. Counterspell's going to be mostly a dead card. I'm going to get rid of their Unholy Heat, I think. So then they have to use Lightning Bolt on Freebooter. I don't like that Freebooter has cards enter the revealed zone twice on Moto. It's kind of annoying. Alright, so now Lightning Bolt's gone, and they have Unholy Heat. They play Expressive Iteration, okay. So they can't Unholy Heat to kill Mantis Rider. Let's go Unclaimed Territory, name Human. Play Mantis Rider, start chipping in. Blue, white, red. Bonk you. Down to 17. Opponent fetches down to 16, gets a tapped land. They have 3 card types in their graveyard currently. They get a Mishra's Bubble, so now they can Unholy Heat or Mantis Rider. They do. Makes sense. They draw a card with Mishra's Bauble. Let's go Noble Hierarch. Well, let's do it with Ancient Ziggurat. Makes a little bit more sense. We have a lot of Horizon Canopies. We're kind of flooding out right now. Opponent counters it. Makes sense. So now we can go Horizon Canopy. Play Imperial Recruiter. They probably have Murktide Regents, which makes me wonder if I want to get a Reflector Mage here. We'll see, I guess. I could also just get a Phantasmal Image and then copy Imperial Recruiter and get some card advantage with it. Do they have double counterspell in their hand or just one? Damn, I didn't see. I think they just had the one, and I think... Well, no, I would have... I don't know. I don't remember. Alright, Recruiter is going to get... Well, they could counter our image, so there's not really a point in doing that right now. So I think I just get Reflector Mage. They're going to have creatures in their deck that they'll draw into eventually, so Reflector Mage will be good one day. Opponent plays Expressive Iteration, that's fine. And we get some redraws with Horizon Canopy, so that's not that bad. I'm probably going to play Meddling Mage on like Lightning Bolt, and then draw a card with Horizon Canopy this coming turn. We don't have much of a clock, but our opponent has a bunch of dead cards stuck in their hand. They draw DRC. They play DRC. Okay, sweet. That's something for us to Reflector Mage. And then we could also Meddling Mage it. Looks like Murktide. I would rather Reflector Mage Murktide than DRC if I'm being honest. Yep, there's a Murktide. Alright, we're bouncing the shit out of that. We drew a Mantis Rider, that's kind of nice. They don't have any mana up. Not Mantis Rider. Let's go white, blue, doesn't matter. Play Reflector Mage. Do they still have a Consider? They do still have a Consider in their hand. So should I name... Huh. Should I name Murktide Regent and for sure get a card, or should I name Lightning Bolt? I think I name Murktide Regent, so then they have to bolt the Meddling Mage. Opponent has lost connection from the game. Opponent has joined the game. I'm not really sure I understand the play of going for Murktide Regent immediately after you know that we... Oh, I tapped that wrong, so I can't go Meddling Mage this turn anyway. Alright, so I'm just gonna play Horizon Canopy and pass. Attack for 1, I suppose. Damn, I did that wrong, that sucks. I could have had a bit better of a board here, but it's alright. Let's see what our opponent does. Opponent plays a Bolt on Reflector Mage. Okay, that kind of worked out, because now I can Meddling Mage Murktide, and they are less likely to have removal for it. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. They have to attack. Okay. I will draw a card. I lose a life for it. We get a Reflector Mage. That's kind of hilarious, actually. Play Horizon Canopy. Play... Esper Sentinel, I think. Alright, I don't think they have this counterspell. I definitely did something wrong there, I think. Let's play... Meddling Mage. Opponent goes for an Unholy Heat. Okay, so Force of Negation and Murktide are their hand now. What happened to the Consider? Oh, they already played it. Okay, I'm a moron. Alright, I assume our opponent's going to pay for the Esper Sentinel. I don't know why they wouldn't. They get to Surveil. Our opponent's having connection issues, unfortunately. I'm not sure if I pop Horizon Canopy or not here, because I kind of want to be able to double spell if I draw land. Opponent kept a card on top. Meddling Mage comes down. They probably have removal on top, I assume. We're going to pick Murktide. We're going to go to combat. And we've been successfully very annoying this game for sure. I do think I'm going to leave the Horizon Canopies because I don't really need to draw into more things to play since I already have a decent hand. I'd rather have mana to play both of them next turn. Because I assume they kept up Bolt or something on top for removal. They're going to Bolt our Meddling Mage, attack us for 3, and then after combat, playing Murktide Regent, and then we can Reflector Mage, and then hopefully also Mantis Rider. That seems really sweet. That seems like it might be able to close the game out for us. Get in for 1. Pass the turn. Alright, what terrible thing is our opponent going to do to us? If they play like a Fury, that's a lot more annoying. Opponent hits us for 3. Yup. Yup. Passes. Interesting. We drew Thalia. So let's go Thalia. Opponent counters it with an Archmage's Charm. Did they keep an Archmage's Charm on top? That's bizarre if so. I don't know why you'd keep a counterspell against the Cavern of Souls deck. Oh, they drew 2 cards with it. Okay. Instead of countering, even though they could have countered. Opponent considers. Okay. Does Thalia come down? It does. Okay. White. Well, tapping Horizon Canopy for white, so never mind that. White. Blue. Red. Mantis Rider. We're at 10, so we are kind of in the danger zone against a bunch of bolts. But we have the ability to block decently now, if we want to. There's 1 lightning bolt in their graveyard. Are there any in exile? There's 1 in exile. Okay, so we're not going to get triple bolted out of the game at least. Unless they have snaps or something. So I'm not tapping these Horizon Canopies for mana anymore, but I think that was definitely worth it there. Because now if our opponent doesn't do anything, they're going to die. And it's possible that even if they do something, they die, depending on what we draw. Yeah, our opponent seems to be having issues with their internet connection, because they keep losing connection and then joining back in immediately, so it's not like they're rage quitting. Opponent's considering what they want to do. I don't think there's a situation where I block this DRC with Mantis Rider, because I think the 3 damage on them is more important than us keeping our life total up. At least for now. because we can take 3 and then they could have a maximum of 2 more bolts if they found those somehow. And that still leaves us at 1. Opponent hits us for 3, we will take it. No burn out of the game, please. They play a monkey. They play land. Okay. Let's draw a card so we get more information first. Thalia's Lieutenant. Thalia's Lieutenant is pretty good information. Because now I can play that. That makes Mantis Rider large enough that it can block and kill DRC if we don't kill them here. Alright, cool. Let's see. We want to bring in, definitely not Magus of the Moon, probably Sanctum Prelate. I think the Sanctifier Invex all come in. Auriok Champion has protection from red, but other than that, it's kind of underwhelming, so probably not. Like, maybe we care about the life gain, but they're not a burn deck. Mantis Rider was good, Reflector Mage was great. Lavinia seems mid at best. I don't think, well, they could have Fury, I guess. We probably take out Phantasmal Image. I liked most of our cards there, is the issue. Let's cut Lavinia. Unsettled Mariner seems decent. Meddling Mage was good. Do I cut Mantis Rider? I don't think I do. I don't think I cut Esper Sentinel. Maybe I cut a couple Champion of the Parishes? Just because they're kind of one note. It feels goofy, but I think that's what I'm going to do. This deck feels really weird sideboarding because of how many cards are pretty much good no matter what. But Sanctifier Infect definitely seems better than most of our main deck cards, so it has to come in, and then Sanctum Prelate on 1. Or even 2, but usually probably 1. Feels really good, because it cuts off a lot of their removal and cantrips and stuff. This hand seems fine. We have Cavern of Souls, which was really important last game. They're probably going to side in some amount of Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon effects, so I guess we just kind of have to hope to dodge that. We'll keep. It'll take a second before they actually get that online anyway, so hopefully it doesn't matter. And we'll see what they draw. If we draw an Aether Vial or a Noble Hierarch, but mostly an Aether Vial, that gives us a way to power out our hand a bit faster and then also get through Blood Moon effects. So let's see what happens. Opponent plays a Bauble, loses connection. I assume since they ran out Bauble before playing anything else that they probably have a fetch land in hand, so they're probably going to target themselves with the Bauble and then decide what to do from there, which makes me think they probably don't have a Ragavan. Okay, they are fetching away their thing. They get a tapped land. Okay. No monkey. Always a welcome sight. We drew a 1-drop, which is great. We will play Esper Sentinel. Hopefully it'll draw us a card or two. Pass the turn. I'm going to go ahead and run out Sanctifier Invect next turn, I think, because I'd rather get it to resolve and take care of their graveyard sooner rather than later. And it's really hard for them to deal with that once it's in play. Like, they might have... I don't know what ways they have to get rid of protection from red creatures, actually. They might just rely on countering them. I guess they could dress down and then kill it. That would make sense. Our last opponent... Prowess decks usually play Kolaghan's Command because it doesn't board wipe the Prowess creatures. But I don't think I've seen K-Command from this deck before. Let's see. Go to combat. Hit you for 1. Okay. Cavern, pick human. Play Sanctifier. You will not counter it. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent fetches down to 17, gets its Hap Steam Vents, that's fine. We haven't seen removal from them yet. They have all... They didn't fetch for an island, so that makes me think they don't have a Blood Moon effect in their hand at all. They go for a Consider. They pay the 1. Good boy. Opponent plays a DRC. Sounds good. We draw Mantis Rider. That also sounds good. Alright, let's go human, white, blue, red. Play Mantis Rider, attack you for 5. I don't want to give you the Esper Sentinel. Even in exchange for a creature, I think it's more important to have our opponent either taxed or having us drawing more cards. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about a Blood Moon right now because our opponent has so many lands that would just get turned off, essentially. So I don't think they have that in hand. They might not have it at all since they were fetching for only Steam Vents. Like maybe they didn't side them in, or maybe they don't have them in the sideboard. But we have a really aggressive and disruptive hand right now, so that's good. Our opponent keeps losing connection. Hopefully they can get their internet figured out. But as long as we win, I don't mind all that much. The addition of Secluded Courtyard for this deck has been really, really sweet. Because just having almost all rainbow lands and then the one basic and a couple horizon lands is awesome. Especially since Courtyard is so much better than Ziggurat, since you can play Ether Vial off of it. Opponent goes to 12. They play a basic island. They play an expressive iteration. Do you pay the 1? They do. Opponent gets a Surveil, puts a monkey into exile. What do they see with expressive iteration? What am I going to do on my turn? I'm not sure if I would rather go Thalia's Lieutenant or Recruiter. I kind of think Lieutenant's probably correct, but Recruiter means that we can... Recruiter means that if they have a Murktide in their hand, which they probably do, and they could play it next turn, we can go ahead and get Reflector Mage, and then have an answer for it that they aren't going to be able to counter immediately. So I'm leaning towards Recruiter. Because we already have a decent clock on them. I don't think... Yeah, just putting a counter on all our guys doesn't actually change the clock that much. Opponent bolts Mantis Rider. Okay. That gets me even further in the Recruiter camp, I think. Let's see what we draw. Oh, we draw a Reflector Mage. Oh. I think in that case I want to play Thalia's Lieutenant. Or do I just Reflector Mage the DRC? Yeah, I just want to play Thalia's Lieutenant. Ups our clock, grows Esper Sentinel, so it's harder for them to pay for it. Always yield. Go to combat. Hit you for 5. We may be able to close out the game next turn. It'll depend on what we draw and what our opponent does, if anything. Opponent untaps. They have 4 mana. Esper Sentinel taxes 2. What you got, opponent? Opponent plays a Scalding Tarn. If they fetch and go down to 6, we definitely have a shot at killing them next turn. They play Mishra's Bauble. Do they pay 2? They do not pay 2. We get a Kite Sail Freebooter. Okay. I would have rather got a land there so I could play more spells, but free cards are free cards. The protection from red means that we should just be able to close the game out over the next couple turns with Sanctifier and Vec, pretty much no matter what our opponent does. Our opponent just keeps losing connection. Alright, what does Murktide have to deal with us? If they have Fury, that could be pretty good, but it doesn't get rid of their... It doesn't get rid of Sanctifier still, and they're at a very low life total. Reflector Mage can deal with most creature and block plays that they try to do. Playing a Murktide is pretty much the only way they have to actually deal with Sanctifier. So if we Reflector Mage a Murktide, which is pretty likely, I think. It's kind of a shame that they haven't got Delirium for DRC. They're gaining control of Esper Sentinel. Okay. Esper Sentinel can block Sanctifier for a turn, but it doesn't actually kill it since it's only a 2/2. Opponent plays Murktide. Okay, we saw that one coming. So we're bouncing that. We're getting in for 5. Our opponent could chump block the 2/2, but they probably won't. And if they don't, they go down to 1. And if they do, they just have an Esper Sentinel and nothing else. They draw a card with Mishra's Bauble. Ether Vial. Don't have the mana for that right now. White, blue, 1. Play Reflector Mage. Target you. Attack with the team. Do you chump block? If you do, great. If you don't, great. Opponent loses connection again. Opponent gains connection again. What you got, what you got. So what would you do in this scenario? I guess it depends on their hand. I don't really think... I don't really see a reasonable out for them from this. They can chump block Sanctifier for a turn with Esper Sentinel. So they're not necessarily dead immediately. But they're really close to being dead immediately because they're at 1. They can't even use fetch lands from here. And if we draw another Reflector Mage and Reflector Mage Esper Sentinel, then we actually win. Reflector Mage is such a good magic card. It's such a ridiculous tempo swing. Opponent finds a Jace. They can Jace to bounce Sanctifier in Vec, I guess. But then we can just recast it. We draw Ether Vial. White, white, play Sanctifier. Grows our Thalia's Lieutenant. So our opponent's going to be chump blocking this turn. Opponent has an Unholy Heat. Okay. Okay. We're going to play Ether Vial. No. That way we can double spell later. We're going to force our opponent to block. They block with Esper Sentinel and DRC. I'll do it like that. I'd rather get rid of Esper Sentinel. I should have played Ether Vial in the second main phase, actually, so that they didn't draw that card. But hopefully it doesn't matter that much. They can bounce a couple times with Jace. But we can recast a bunch of things. And we still have the Cavern of Souls, so Ether Vial should hopefully be able to power us through this game. Our opponent stabilizing at 1 would kind of suck. Jace is just actually an answer to Sanctifier since it can bounce it 1,000,000 times. Our Vial's going to tick up to 1. We don't have anything to do with that right now. If I draw a land, I could go double 2-drop. I could go Ether Vial 2-drop right now, or I could go just Recruiter, go get... I'm probably just going to play a Recruiter and get another Reflector Mage, because I know Murktide is coming. Opponent bounces Sanctifier. Makes sense. Plays Ragavan. Okay. Our opponent is a little short of keeping up mana and also playing Murktide right now. Opponent plays Champion of the Parish. Okay. So no Murktide yet. Ether Vial goes up. We draw Thalia. I think I just play Sanctifier again. And hopefully force them to bounce it with Jace. Yet again. Then I can play another Ether Vial. Yeah, this game definitely got delayed from where we were a couple turns ago by that Jace, but we're not necessarily in a bad spot still, because we have a lot of life and we have a lot of action still. Opponent brainstorms. Reason I went for Sanctifier instead of... It plays Mishra's Bauble, Surveils, okay. The reason I went for Sanctifier instead of Recruiter there is even though they could get Murktide into play and I can't bounce it immediately, this can block Ragavan from coming in, and Ragavan can get more creatures that can block and possibly kill Sanctifier and Vec. So our opponent actually getting cards from our deck is a bit scarier than them playing their Murktide Regents and stuff right now. Opponent plays out a board. Okay. Okay. Vials go up. Opponent draws a card with Mishra's Bauble. They have 4 cards in hand, and the Jace. Both vials are going to go up. One's at 1 and one is at 2. We draw Unsettled Mariner. Okay. White, red, red. Let's go for Imperial Recruiter. Okay. Gets a... Probably just Reflector Mage. Yeah, I think I just want to get Reflector Mage now. And I'll wait on the Vial activation until my opponent's turn. Because if they bounce Sanctifier and Vec, I'm going to want to put it back into play. Opponent brainstorms. They have a lot of cards. But we might be able to overpower them still. Opponent plays Mishra's Bauble. Okay. We sided out Phantasmal Image, so we can't get that with our Recruiter. Otherwise, it's a decent card advantage plan. Opponent taps out. Plays another Murktide? Plays another Murktide. Okay. That's fine. Do I play Kite Sail to look at their hand? Well, actually, they're at 1. Huh. So I can play Kite Sail, look at their hand. They only have 2 flying blockers. I can Reflector Mage one of them. If I draw another Reflector Mage, I can kill my opponent. I think I like that idea. Oh, opponent concedes. That was a little early to concede, I feel like. What would we have drawn? Kite sail. Okay. That was a really interesting match. We saw them come back from almost completely dead and then try to actually get back in the game, but I think we would have got it anyway. All right, good games. All right, round 5 with humans. We lost the die roll yet again, but we're playing for the 5-0, so I'm feeling pretty nice about this. This hand is okay. It has a decent bit of ramp. It's a bit mana heavy. We'll keep it. I would keep this 6, so that 7's fine. We draw a land. That's not what we wanted. Let's go unclaimed territory. Pick human. Play Vile. Say go. Our opponent led on a basic island. That could mean a lot of things. What is our opponent on? Another basic island. Merfolk! We're playing the tribal matchup. Alright, this is going to get weird. Our boards are both going to get very big, I think. Let's see. Always yield. Well, yeah, I guess I always yield too. Why not? Let's see. Yes, up to 1. Esper Sentinel. Probably not very good in this matchup, if I'm being honest. What did they reveal? Master of the Pearl Trident? That's easy enough. Play Meddling Mage. You'll never guess what I'm picking. Say go. Esper Sentinel probably isn't going to get us a bunch of cards here. They could play some non-creature spells, but they can probably just pay for it pretty easily. So I think I'm just going to go with Noble Hierarch off of Vile instead. They are playing Otowaras, so that means they could make us pick up the Meddling Mage. Actually, I think I might just go Vile and Esper Sentinel and trade for Silvergill immediately. Try to keep their board from getting out of hand. Opponent plays Archmage's Charm, steals our Vile. What an asshole. Alright, pick human. So Vile means they're going to be able to put Master into play. Let's go... Do you want to go Noble Hierarch or Thalia's Lieutenant first? I think I'm more likely to swing in with just Lieutenant. So let's do that. I can hit them for 4 this turn. Attack for 4. Opponent goes down to 16. So now they have a Vile, which is pretty annoying. If they're playing Archmage's Charms, that actually means that our Esper Sentinel could have been worth something. So it kind of sucks that I traded it away. But I wasn't really sure. Sometimes the only spells that... Well, actually, they're playing Spreading Seas, most likely. So I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's play Unclaimed Territory, pick human. Let's play... Recruiter. See if it... Well, it's going to resolve because of Cavernous Souls. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to get another Lieutenant with Recruiter, I think. I could get Reflector Mage. That could be pretty good. Yeah, actually I'm going to get Reflector Mage. And I'm just going to put a Mariner into play. Opponent plays Merfolk Trickster. Taps down Lieutenant. Okay. Opponent plays Merfolk Trickster. Taps down Meddling Mage. Okay. That's moderately annoying. We don't get to get in for damage. That was a pretty big tempo swing for them. Merfolk Tricksters are going to be 3/3s with Island Walk. Actually, Ether Vial makes Reflector Mage a lot less impactful. I probably should have just got a Lieutenant. What do I want to bring in against them? Dismember probably. I don't think anything else is very impactful. Warlock Champions and Sanctifiers don't really matter. War Priest isn't going to do anything. Sanctum Prelate basically doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think we just bring in Dismembers so we can target their lords with it. I got like Thalias maybe? They have first strike, so they're not that bad, but they're not great either. Maybe I cut down on like one Thalia and one Kitesail Freebooter. Because Kitesail Freebooter at least has the line of... Kitesail Freebooter at least has the line of looking at their hand and getting a counterspell out. Maybe I cut all the Kitesails and bring in Artifact Destruction since they have their own Ether Vials. So I could bring in like... some amount of Outland Liberator and just have it be a bear that randomly can blow up an Ether Vial if they have it. That doesn't seem bad. It seems better than Kitesail Freebooter if I'm being honest. Although Kitesail has flying, which could matter a lot. I don't know. First strike is good, but flying is also good. I guess we'll see. I don't think I really want to be trading a creature for an Ether Vial in this matchup, though. If we had, like, Collector Roof, that would be a bit better, I think. I can't say I considered the Merfolk matchup that much when I was building this deck, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Opponent went up to 3 with Ether Vial. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I just take it, because I'm pretty sure they're just going to have a way to protect their master, and I don't really want to get my Unsettled Mariner eaten by them vialing in like the 3-drop Lord or something. Reflector, well, they put Vial up to 3, which means Reflector Mage can actually bounce this and stop them from replaying it with Meddling Mage in play. We'll see what we draw, I guess. I don't think I should be in danger of dying here. Opponent is considering what they want to do, it looks like. We go down to 12. Opponent's at 16. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 damage on board currently. So not quite enough. What does our opponent have? Oh, opponent had a master in hand still. Damn. That kind of sucks. That kind of makes up for me getting master of the I mean, it kind of makes up for me getting Reflector Mage, I think. Because otherwise that was pretty dumb of me. Let's play Reflector Mage. We drew Mantis Rider, which could be pretty useful. Let's bounce you. Our opponent's clock has reduced by a decent chunk now. They could still vial in their creature that gets indestructible. But I think that might just be a risk we have to take. They moved Aether Vial up to 3, so that does make me think they have Sylvoon. They're thinking about what they want to do here, I think. What do we want to do here? They activate Aether Vial. Okay, so knowing what they're getting with the Aether Vial helps us a lot, actually. They put Glasspool Mimic into play. Okay. So it was right about them having a Lord. They don't have Sylvoon, which means we can attack in and not feel too bad about it. Let's go to combat. Attack, attack, attack. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, not attacking with the Imperial Recruiter. Run it down to 7. Mantis Rider means they're down to effectively 4. There's a decent chance we have it next turn. Aether Vial stays on 3. Makes sense. I miss playing Merfolk. This deck was a lot of fun. I should do another video with it, I think, now that I've changed the formula a little bit for the deck text and stuff. What do you guys think I should do next? I've had a lot of fun playing humans and the past couple of things that I've done. But I think I'm going to try to do like a budget deck coming up. I think I just chump block here, since I can. Yeah, I'd rather conserve some life total since they can randomly get unblockable if I don't pay attention to it. I don't place Master of Waves. That's scary. All right. Good lord. We draw Cavern of Souls. Pick human. White, blue, red. Mantis Rider chip in for 4 in the air. And I guess we'll see what happens. No reason to swing with more stuff than that, because I'd rather have blockers up and it doesn't change our clock at all. Alright, no spreading seas, please. Please, no spreading seas. That'd be so bad. Opponent activates a vial, puts another Glasspool Mimic into play. Good lord. Alright, I think that just kills us. Because Master of Waves makes all these much larger, makes a bunch of tokens. We should just be dead here. Yeah, it's a ridiculous amount of creatures. I'm going to let them hit us with it because it's just funny, though. I want to see what life total we're at afterward. I don't have any first strike, unfortunately. Alright. Let's go block, block. Oh, it has protection from red. What am I doing? Block, 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 block. Okay. Take 1,000,000. And let's see what we do with our sideboard games. Because those Master of Waves were crazy. -33, Jesus. Alright. So we bring in Dismembers. I think I just cut Kite Sails. I think I'm okay with that plan. And I bring in like one Outland Liberator. Cut a Thalia, bring in another one. Yeah, I'm fine with that. We have a lot of cards that aren't necessarily the best against them, since we're more oriented against spell-based decks, as we've seen from our other matches so far. We're really good at slowing down people that are trying to play a bunch of lightning bolts and removal spells and whatever. And we don't have much removal and stuff of our own. This would be a matchup where the Orzhov human lord, the general guy from Ikoria, would be really good, I think. Since it is a lord and then doubles as removal. This hand's a little clunky. It's kind of land heavy, but it has an okay curve, and I would keep this 6, I think, so we'll keep it. We don't really have a super ideal hand that we're looking for against them anyway, other than just playing a bunch of creatures. So let's pass. I think I want to get Thalia out before Thalia's Lieutenant, because I'd rather have a 3-2 with first strike than have a slightly larger Lieutenant. Gonna play as Minimo. We draw Lavinia. Let's play Cavern of Souls on human. Play Tihalia. Combat for 1. Getting the clock started, pass the turn. Next turn we can go Lavinia and Thalia's Lieutenant. And then the turn after that we can crack Horizon Canopy to draw a card. Opponent Tide Shapers. So they are going to have unblockable on their stuff this game. That's kind of annoying. If we can keep the beatdown up on them, hopefully it won't matter that much. Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider's not bad. I don't think it changes the order that I'm going to do this stuff in, though. Let's play Lieutenant first, I think. Okay. I have mana to where I can play Mantis Rider and also pop Horizon Canopy next turn. Always yield to Lieutenant. Hit 8 since I don't have anything going on right now. Attack for 4. Alright, we're just in race mode since they can get in with unblockable. Opponent's down to 15. We do have a flying attacker that can get a bit larger. They didn't play anything main phase. So hopefully we can keep them on blocking only for a while. Let's see what happens. How does Thalia interact with Lavinia? I think it doesn't work the way I want it to, because I think if they had any 0 drops, they would be paying 1 for it from Thalia, and then it wouldn't get countered by Lavinia. If I had to guess, I think that's how it works. We drew a Meddling Mage. Interesting. Let's play Meddling Mage first. And I think I go for Master of the Pearl Trident. Opponent plays Merfolk Trickster. Taps our Lieutenant, I assume. Taps our Thalia. That's fine. Master of the Pearl Trident. Grows Lieutenant. White. Fuck. Red. Blue. White. Mantis Rider. Grows Lieutenant. So now I'm attacking for 7 this turn. See if they have anything else to play. They can actually play like a Vapor Snag or something, since they tapped Thalia and took away the ability. Attack for 7. Opponent takes it down to 8. That's 2 Mantis Rider swings with this Noble Hierarch in play. Opponent plays Silvergill Adept, reveals the Master of the Pearl Trident. Owned. Plays Lord of Atlantis. Sort of unfortunate for us, but we can still kill them pretty quickly. We take 6. We can't block anything because of Island Walk. And now I get to attack in and force them to chump block. Go to combat. I'm going to attack with everything including the Meddling Mage, because they're probably going to block Meddling Mage, and then we can play a new one. How do they block right? So they block here. They can't block this, so they're at 5. They block here, because otherwise they take lethal. So yeah, we actually get to get them with the first strike there and get some free damage in. And now I think I go Lord of Atlantis with Meddling Mage. Blue, white. I should have attacked with Noble Hierarch. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright. I don't think our opponent has a reasonable way to get out of this. I hope. God, I hope not. But they are going to be on the play next game. They haven't had an Ether Vial start. Alright. I think I just run it back. Thalia having first strike was relevant, so I was right about that at least. I think I'm just going to leave it how it was. Not going to worry about changing anything right now. Maybe Unsettled Mariner isn't good enough. Unsettled Mariner stops them from targeting our lands unless they pay 1 more, so that's decent at least. This hand seems okay. We have some acceleration, Reflector Mage for a tempo, some other stuff to do. We'll keep it. Seems fine. I'd like to get Athalia's Lieutenant, of course, or some other way of racing a bit faster, since that's pretty much our way of... Yeah, Outland Liberator, actually, now that I think about it, it stops Spreading Seas if they play that. So maybe I should have brought the other one in. We will see, we will see. Thalia was pretty useful last game just from having first strike and being a beat stick. Opponent plays Ether Vial. We pick Human. We'll play Hierarch. If they kept a 1-lander, which I guess we can hope for, we get to Outland Liberator and just blow up their Ether Vial immediately before they get a 2-drop out of it. They did not keep a 1-lander. That's a shame. They Spreading Seas our Secluded Courtyard. Okay. So we go... what? We're definitely playing Unclaimed Territory on Human. I don't think I want to go straight for the Outland Liberator and blow something up. I think I'd rather go Outland Liberator, just keep it as a creature on the board. Maybe I don't care about it as a creature on the board. Because they don't have a board right now. Yeah, I think I actually just want to tempo them out as much as possible. They didn't have a 1-drop to Violin, so that's pretty good for us. This means Reflector Mage is more impactful now, too. Yeah, I think I like this plan. No play and pass? Okay. Let's go... Noble Hierarch. Go to combat. Attack for 2. 2 exalted triggers. Okay. Play Ziggurat. Play Mariner. Opponent gets their turn. They didn't play anything that turn. They didn't have a counterspell up either from what we saw. So that's interesting. Opponent plays a land. Opponent plays Svelun or Sylvoon or whatever the fuck. Alright, let's play Cavernous Souls since we drew it. Pick human. Play Reflector Mage, bounce Svelun. They can't recast it. We get in for 4. Combat. 4 at you. We don't really have anything going on right now. We're very flooded. But we have a better board than our opponent does, at least for the time being. So that's something. Opponent plays Silvergill Adept, shows us this Svelun. What you got, opponent? So do I attack in with both of my creatures, or do I just attack in for 4? I think I'm leaning towards just attacking in for 4. Svelun is a 5. That's a 3/4. Okay. So it doesn't have indestructible yet, which means we can get in with Mariner. And if they block it, it dies. If they play Merfolk Trickster, their ability gets countered by Unsettled Mariner. Go to combat. Yeah, I think I just want to get in with the 4. Since it's the same amount of damage overall, and I'm fine with them just chump blocking. Alright, they take 4. We still have a blocker that can eat their creatures. They play Trickster, the ability gets countered. Sounds good to me. And we really just want to draw like a Mantis Rider or something from here, because Mantis Rider is a 2-turn clock right now. Opponent plays a Cavernous Souls. They have 3 unknowns and a Svelun in hand. This Svelun cares about having 2 other Merfolk, so it is going to have indestructible. They play Lord of Atlantis. Alright. So opponent has a board and has unblockable now. Plays Glasspool Mimic. They have very unblockable. Okay. So we need to draw Mantis Rider really bad. Come on, Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider is a 2-turn clock and can still get us out of this. Come on, Mantis Rider. We draw? Ugh. Oh, this is a 4/4 because of their Merfolk. And it has Island Walk because of it. What? That's hilarious. Oh my god, Unsettled Mariner is so good in this matchup. Okay, so I didn't need Mantis Rider. They just have to not have an answer to Unsettled Mariner for a turn. Wait, they still just get to kill us. That sucks. Okay. Well, yeah, they just get to kill us because they have unblockable on everything. But Unsettled Mariner got to do something really funny. So close. So close. I mean, I assume they just attack with everything, right? Opponent plays Svelun. Maybe somehow they won't kill us. Yeah, they kill us. Okay. GG's to our opponent. That was a really nice showing for the 5-color humans deck. I had a lot of fun playing it. Unsettled Mariner, apparently really good against Merfolk, I didn't even realize. At least if they play Lord of Atlantis instead of Master of the Pearl Trident. Alright, let's see what we got in the treasure chests. First treasure chests. Come on, good stuff. Avatar, an Avatar of Divinity. Decent amount of play points, so I'm not going to complain. I don't really need play points at this point, though. I'd rather get straight cash money. Alright, sort of whatever still. Open up another one. Veto, kind of a fun card in like Pioneer. You can do some janky combos with it, or play it in like a Soul Sisters Pioneer deck. Alright, straight jank again. One more treasure chest, come on. Something good. And we get some Commander jank, it looks like. Mirrodin jank, rather. Alright, well, I'll see you in the next video. I had a lot of fun playing 5-color humans, I highly recommend it. And I'll see you around.
Hey everyone, Shoe Nice again. Well, basically, go subscribe to Tezzey's YouTube channel. And for those who made it to the end of the video, thank you.